Welcome to Papaya Talk, and I am joined this week by Scott Warner,
Hi again.
and he is our design director here, and he may get a lower third that appears.
Lower third.
Oh,
Whoa.
Look at that.
not exactly low, but
it's
a middle graphic
with
there. So we're gonna dive into some Q&A shortly, but I think we'll start with covering some stuff from Content Update 2 that we didn't get to talk about last week, as well as announcing the release date of Content Update 2.
Yeah.
But so let's start with something that I've been calling wearables, but I want to know what you call it because that may dictate what we'll call it in the game, right?
We're calling it wearables right now. We should have mentioned this last week, and we just brain farted, honestly. But in Content Update 2, you're going to be able to acquire through the standard loot containers in the world jackets and helmets. And so the jackets will provide you with additional protection from damage, and so will the helmets, but they will also provide you headshot protection. So you'll be able to acquire those throughout the world. They are passive. You just put them on and they work. It should be pretty standard stuff from those of you who have played some shooters before. But those are going to be part of the loot table from now on. So you'll have a little extra defense for your game for those of you who want a little bit more extra padding.
Nice. Cool. So I haven't been wrong when I call them wearables.
No,
that's
what we
I write it down on all my notes, and then I'm like, I don't know.
We call them wearables because we also have customizable outfits, and that system will definitely expand greatly in the future. But for now, we need to differentiate these two because wearables actually have a gameplay difference, and customization of your outfits do not. So,
Gotcha.
That's clean for now.
Cool. So the next thing I think that we didn't touch on from last week that's for Content Update 2 is achievements. So
we'll have our first suite of Steam achievements implemented for Content Update 2. I forget the exact number of these. I think it's in the 15-ish range. But we'll have those available for you to start working against. And we're going to expand that and add many more in the future. But we'll have the first initial batch of them ready for you.
Cool. And finally, Content Update 2, release date announcement. So thanks for tuning in, everyone, because you get the sneak peek release date announcement for Content Update 2. It is coming March 28th, 2018.
Awesome.
And I'm sure Omer's going to run in this room in 20 seconds or thereabouts to tell me that I got that wrong. But I asked him like 10 times, so I don't think so.
No, I think that's pretty solid.
I think that's the right date.
I don't see anything. I don't see him coming.
Okay, cool. So maybe we got it right this time.
I think we did.
Maybe he's just busy and isn't watching the show.
Yeah.
That's always a possibility too. But so cool. That's the stuff for Content Update 2 that I wanted to touch on this week. And so since we're here right now, let's do another poll.
Another poll?
Yeah, let's do another poll.
All right.
So we are going to do a poll. The question will be, what are you most looking forward to in Content Update 2? The new weapons, the shotgun and the rifle, the progression system, which we talked about a little bit last week. We'll talk about more probably next week. The storm state, or the wearables. So that poll should trigger soon, and
Just as a quick reminder, if you haven't already opened the stream on Hero, that's hero.tv/twitch/outpost games. You'll be able to vote in this upcoming vote that we're going to launch in the next few couple of seconds. Again, it's about what you're most excited about in Content Update 2.
Yeah, so head to our Hero page if you're not there already, which again, it doesn't make sense if you're watching us. You should watch us on Hero.
You can give the feedback, right? Look at someone
give us
loves
feedback. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we got some lovey faces. Great.
There you go.
So go vote, and we will say the results of the vote in a second once we get them, which will be very soon.
Awesome.
I'm sure.
Yep, it should be live now. You should be able to vote. Again, it's going to be based on your new weapons, progression system, storm state, and wearables, what you're most looking forward to in Content Update 2.
There's no achievements in that list?
I think that's progression system.
Oh,
It
I
was-
see.
was
Yeah.
captured by
So
that.
if you're interested in the achievements, consider that as part of the progression system.
Cool. I did fold it under there, but also we had to do custom coding to get 4 voting options in the first place today. So I didn't want to do 5 voting options and make Ryan have to do even more work.
Are you ready? We got 5 seconds left.
5 seconds.
3, 2,
And
1, and boom. It looks like the results are going to come in.
we're gonna read you the winners. We're being silent while we wait.
Yeah, well, the winner
Well,
is
but we want to know the votes.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
The
that's
vote
true.
breakdown.
True. We do know the winner. I think those that
Everyone
saw
knows
it
the
also
winner.
have it. Listen, I'm the winner.
It is you.
Yes.
All right, cool. Results are coming in right now. Coming in real hot.
This is engaging TV right now.
Yeah, I know, right? We're
Look, I think they're
we're learning
angry.
how to use the polling
Yeah.
and voting system here.
So I think they're angry because they haven't had the results yet. But you ready for me to read them off?
Yes.
Thank
I
you,
am.
Ryan, by the way, for getting me those. But we had 12 votes for the shotgun, 15 for Storm, 6 for wearables, but a booming 18 for the progression system.
Wow.
And XP and achievements. So
You
we
know
got
what?
No,
That
I'm
actually
actually
is surprising.
I'm pretty
right?
surprised by that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, that's very cool. You know,
Wow.
it's good to run these.
We
votes
learned
live.
something from
Yeah.
this poll, right? That was great.
Yeah.
Like we said last week, for all things metagame, which includes achievements, progression, the game outside of the game, which is basically the metagame, this is just the first step. So in content update 2, we're going to have, like we said before, the levels, the XP events to be earned against the achievements. But we have so much more coming. If you can imagine a fully fleshed out system for this, and all kinds of manner of things for you to earn and unlock and sort of track your progress again, they're going to be coming. So just keep that in mind as you go through the first content update with the metagame in place, and we'll be adding a lot more.
Cool. Well, that was an illuminating poll, I feel like.
Yeah, I think so.
So what we're going to do right now is just dive into some Q&A, like usual.
Don't worry, I didn't miss that you were throwing the papers, Micah. I still saw that happen.
I'm always going to throw the papers. That's why I print out the papers, is to throw. How often do you get to throw papers in your daily life?
I mean, yeah, that's a good point. You have a good point.
You
have a good
don't
point.
get to throw enough things in your daily life, I feel like. But
Yeah. Cool.
This hasn't become meme-worthy yet.
Ethan's giving us some kind of hand signals, and I can't tell whether they're like, you guys are
Move it
really
along.
entertaining and cool, or if
Move
they're
it
like,
along.
just shut up and get on with it. So we'll shut up and get on with it. So our first question comes from Twitter, from @NotMatt, @NotMattTV, so, actually, sorry. Any chance we'll see new maps with completely different themes? So, you know, not just new maps, but new themes for the maps. I love the island theme, but maybe a Fallout-themed map with mutated
Fallout.
creatures instead of Hoopia. Doesn't have to be Fallout, just a random theme suggestion.
Yeah, so we definitely want to do different themes. The fiction of this game is that it's a game show. So really that kind of makes it so that it's pretty malleable to include whatever we'd like to do in the future. So that's really great. So we include all kinds of themes. Fallout we may have some licensing issues with, but you know, we could think about something post-apocalyptic or something.
Yeah, something that people have suggested a few times, like a space station map is the next one. Like something,
Sure, yeah.
something as different as possible from Lacuna, just for.
Here's how we're going to be looking at this moving forward in the next few months. We have a trade-off between getting you content as fast as possible, a new map as fast as possible, so there's something different for you to play, and creating brand new content like a brand new theme. And unfortunately, the latter takes a lot longer than the former. So we're going to be trying to figure out in our production how we can deliver both of these things over time. But we may favor instead of getting you a new map as soon as possible, so there's something more for you to play with. And that may not be like a brand new theme, but we're gonna figure out and play around with things and see if we can't, come up with something that is really engaging, intriguing, and is a brand new map for you. But most certainly for the future, we're going to explore different themes, and we would love your feedback on what you think would be exciting in sort of the SOS game show universe.
Do you see how surprised and astonished they are with the feedback there? We get now they're mad. Oh, if we look at us, we got some feedback going on off of Hero.
To be fair,
okay.
they might be mad at me.
We've been
because
getting mad for a while. I think that's mad at you,
I
right?
was typing a
I
little
see that
bit.
now. Yeah, okay,
yeah,
sorry.
Yeah,
I
they're
was
mad.
typing
They're
a
mad at
little
him.
bit.
They were surprised for a while. Oh, we're back to surprise.
Okay, surprise.
Cool.
Okay,
Boom! There we go.
that's how I was feeling.
Yeah, cool. So I wanted to corner you with that question because
Yeah, that's great.
I get it all the time, and I was like, oh,
There's nothing.
if I can get Scott live on air to answer that one, that'll be.
Out of all the production of stuff, the maps take the longest, just because you sort of see them as a big container of stuff, and it's just many different components that go into that, and it takes a while. But we're going to try and get something to you as soon as possible. We have our great level designer Will Bordenero working on stuff right now and trying to test out and play with things for you to get in your hands pretty soon.
Cool. Well, I think that's enough for that one. So let's move on. So this is a question we get asked about a lot. It comes to us from @WarwickSTL. And he says, will there be a maximum number of people that can be in an alliance? Maybe some kind of penalty for having more than X number of players in an alliance. Seems like it's becoming common with late night games, especially with the same players game to game. And yeah, I could see that being the biggest issue late night when there are fewer people in queue.
So the most tangible thing we're going to do to address this in the short term is when Content Update 2 drops.
It's my fault. I named it Content Update for the public release, and we call it Content
Drop.
Drop.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's my bad.
Hashtag blame Micah.
Yeah.
Hashtag blame Dash in chat, please. Thank you.
With the XP system, you are going to earn XP as an alliance. We obviously want you to play together with one another, and we want you to meet people. It's an important part of what makes SOS really special. But then as you add more people to that alliance, there's going to be a certain max cap for that, where at some point that XP is going to start scaling down. And so we have a number in mind right now. We're going to play around with it a little bit, but it's not on the size of large alliances. Think more like in the 2 to 3 to 4 range, where you're going to be earning a lot of XP, and then it's going to start degrading over time. So you won't earn nearly as much if you have a really large alliance. So that's one mechanism we're going to use in order to try and sort of balance out large alliances and have an incentive to have smaller groups, because like you guys know, it makes the game feel a lot better when you play that way.
Cool. Yeah, I was actually really excited that someone came to me this morning and was talking about it. I was like, oh, I was going to ask this on the flare gun today, so that's perfect.
Thanks, Warwick.
So thank you for the question. I think Warwick's been asking that question week in, week out, so I'm glad we could touch on it this week. So let's move on to a kind of fun question from the Jukebox guy, who asked me this question. He DM'd me this question, and he took the time to tweet it at us, so I had to answer it. Can we get a Prop Hunt custom game mode, please and thank you? Scott, are you familiar with Prop Hunt?
No, I'm not.
You not at all?
No, well, I mean, depends on what we're talking about.
So Prop Hunt is that there's that mod where the players take the roles of different objects in the world, and the other team's trying to hunt them down with flamethrowers and kill them. And so there's a mod for Team Fortress with that. There's a COD mod, I believe.
Yeah, like some we have some custom game modes in mind. That would be an interesting one to try and play around with. The flamethrowers part of it, challenging.
We're just trying to avoid flamethrowers, right? We don't want like Jake to lose his mind.
I'm waiting to see Galby run in the chat just to yell flamethrowers.
I mean, if you want like 8-bit flamethrower, we can put that in there. We would love to hear like from that custom mode to anything that you could possibly imagine. Some of them are relatively easy for us to do as sort of custom objectives, as you saw in our first custom objectives that we put out. Like, we were able to include quite a few, and so we're going to include some more pretty soon, including a really big one that I'm going to be happy to announce soon. But please keep the suggestions coming, because we would love to fill that up with experimental game modes that may even at some point graduate into the main hopper for you to play.
Cool.
People are saying to fix mics. And
Scott's mic is hitting against his switch.
Oh.
Yeah.
So he's getting some.
Listen, all right.
That's my.
And I think Omer's telling us the same thing.
I think what it really
is that what he came to say?
We didn't.
I think Omer's like, speed it up. That's what he's saying.
Oh.
He needs me.
He needs you for a playtest. I believe that's what he's saying.
He's gonna have to like prioritize.
We're getting to the end of the question, so we'll be good.
One thing I think would be a good follow-up, it was actually from Warwick as well, which was mentioning if there would be an increased visual indication for how many people are in the alliance when the hand is up. So if you're contemplating becoming someone's ally, they have 5 people, right, or something.
To give you some sort of like awareness
before you slap hands.
Before you slap hands.
Yeah, that's a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know if So I think that's a good way to put it, right? Is we think it's a good idea. I don't think that means there's any promises around it, but we can definitely explore.
If I say something's a good idea, we'll think about it.
It means he thinks it's a good idea.
We'll think about it.
It doesn't. We can never promise that something's going to get into the game, but a good idea is a good idea.
So they also called me out for clicking, because I just like clicking the emotes. over here.
okay.
And so my thing is
So
that
were you coming through on the mic clicking?
yeah,
the
yeah.
emotes?
So I
Yeah.
think the way to solve this is that they have to start clicking so that I don't have to, right? That's how it works.
Right.
Give us more hearts.
Yeah.
Whatever you
Otherwise,
want. Yeah.
Give us more love.
Hearts are good.
I demand love.
demand it. All right, I'll
Okay,
stop clicking.
So just to satisfy Omer, let's haul through the rest of these.
Okay.
And because I got just a few more from Twitter and then one from Facebook. So at Netrox14 says, how rare will the new weapons be, and will they be found in different boxes with different spawn points than the current ones, meaning the shotgun and rifle?
So the rarity is something we're going to play around with. I mean, I think you could expect them to be in the ballpark of the guns in terms of rarity right now, but they will certainly be in different loot locations and balanced across the map in sort of an interesting and engaging way. But we're going to, like all things with this game, we're going to get it out to you guys. We're going to see what happens with it, and we're going to balance accordingly. So I should say that, like we were discussing last week, my goal of this is not to include this stuff to sort of turn it into a gun game entirely. And so we are going to try and balance so that this stuff is rare enough to where you aren't kind of thinking about using guns indiscriminately. You still have to think about it quite a bit and think about ammo and conservation, that sort of thing. But like always, we're going to watch and see what happens with it out in the wild, and then we will balance it for optimal fun.
Optimal fun is always a good
Optimal
thing,
fun
right?
is the goal, yeah.
Cool. So just one more Twitter question, and then we'll take a Facebook question.
Okay.
Slightly challenging Facebook question,
All right.
if we're ready for
Challenging.
it. So starting with the last Twitter question, at Coco Jobro asks, will the rain in Lacuna Island Storm State wash away the relic trails after a certain point in the match? And so I would bundle the footprints along with that too, right? So did those fade?
Right now, the relic trails, we aren't modifying those, as far as I know.
I don't believe
the
so,
footprints, those will wash away faster. Again, it's something we're continuing to tune as we do our own internal playtests. But it makes sense that if it's raining, that these are going to go away faster than they normally would. So yes.
And just another question like that he asked, will we see supply drops veer off course from their intended locations due to the wind? I thought that was cool. That's why I wanted to ask it, because I don't know if we thought about that one yet.
So I'll go very quickly so Emma doesn't yell at me.
Yeah.
There's
I think he'll yell at me,
there's
but-
video game fun, which is getting your supply drops as you intend them to, and there's simulation. And when simulation kicks in, it's cool in theory, but I think most of you, if you got a supply drop, you would not want it to go off into the ocean somewhere or go off into some other person's hands, that sort of thing. So we'll find a right trade-off in that, but I think we'll start with keeping the behavior pretty similar to what it is now, and we'll see if we can do something to make it just kind of like speak to the spirit of that question or to that suggestion.
Cool. So this is the last question. Comes to us from Facebook, from Mac Clamasco,
Okay.
who says, the defibrillator currently feels extremely overpowered, and when players are pre-teaming in solos, being dead provides a huge advantage since you are able to spectate everyone else in the game and reveal their locations. What are your plans to bring it into balance with the other items in the game?
Right. Yeah. So two things there. As far as its actual balance, that's something we're still measuring to sort of see how actually overbalanced or underbalanced we think it really is. Pretty common in video games is when you see something of sort of dramatic effect, there's a tendency for you to feel like, hey, this is just incredibly overbalanced or overpowered. And then sometimes the data tells you something otherwise. Like I worked on the Halo games, and oftentimes in development, people would complain about the jetpack being overpowered, and so they'd be like, "Oh my God, some vertical advantage is going to kill everybody." When the truth is, the kill-death ratios of people would use the jetpack would go down because you're this floating arc in the sky, and people just go boom, 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 boom. So, if we find yes that the defibrillator is overpowered in that capacity, just to be in the sense of using it in the world, we're definitely going to make balance changes to it, no doubt. As far as being able to spectate, we are still working through on that sort of thing, but we realize the problem the inherent problem in being able to do that.
Yeah, so people have voiced that to
Yeah.
us numerous times. We definitely are listening. I did just review a proposal for how to deal with that.
Yeah.
I think we're refining it and working on it, but it is our goal to deal with that so that that's not an issue with the defibrillator.
Expect there's going to be an answer to that one maybe in the next talk.
Cool. Yeah, I think it looked like chat sort of agreed that defibrillator isn't that overpowered outside of the ghosting issues. So, cool.
Cool.
Good to hear. Well, that brings us to the end of our Q&A.
Ooh, I got a question. I got
Yes.
one.
Okay, cool. Because we rushed through it a little bit just so I could get Scott over to Omer so
we
that
gotta get
Omer
it.
didn't kill me.
It's a real good question, though. A lot of people are asking about whether or not shotguns and rifles will have different ammo types or what
That is a
situation's
great
gonna be
question.
like.
Oh, yeah.
Excellent
We
question.
didn't bring that up yet. They absolutely will have different ammo types. So you're not going to be able to use, like gun slugs instead of for shotgun slugs. Sorry. So the shotgun and the rifle will have their own unique ammo types and cases and pickups in the world.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I believe that's going to bring us to the end of this episode of the Flare Gun. Sorry for cutting it a little shortish, but I definitely didn't want Omer to get upset. So
We'd be busy.
yeah, we're definitely busy. We had a guest planned besides Scott today. They got sick, and I could not get anyone
Which
else.
is too bad. That was Noonan. Like
It was Noonan, and Noonan is a great showman.
when you see him here next time, ask him about the fact that he was sort of like the Ed McMahon. This might be going too old, but like sort of like the sidekick to the talk show host at Visceral for several years, and he was like kind of comic relief. So maybe he'll do some of that for you.
So you're saying he's like the Andy Richter?
He's the Andy Richter, yes.
Yeah. So maybe we
make
need to have him
that's
do
the
that.
comparison you should know. It's like Michael Noonan equals Andy Richter. He'll like that.
Yeah. So thanks to everyone who came by, tuned in today, and we'll be back next week, same time, 2 p.m.
We're gonna do another one. Austin.
Oh, you are gonna do
Yeah,
another one.
Austin was able to get
Okay.
it set up.
So we're
gonna
not
do one
done,
more.
but Scott's going to be leaving us now. So say goodbye to Scott, and we'll continue with
I'll see
one
you
final
soon,
match.
I'm sure, and ask questions on the forum and keep giving us feedback and all the rest. Because again, our game is in development. It's early access. We want it to be as fun as possible, and that requires you to continue to play and give us feedback all the time, so we can balance the game and change things and add stuff.
Cool.
Awesome.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Scott.